What is going on, guys? My name's Matt.
I'm Benham.
And I'm Corey.
And this is the Heavy Metal Melee podcast.
All right, shall we do a quick recap of last week's?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, in the battle of the symphonic power metal bands, Slayer defeated Nightwish. So
Slayer is so symphonic.
So we need another contender, another symphonic power metal band from the shores of Sweden. We're doing OPETH.
I don't know if I would consider OPETH symphonic.
Or power metal. They're neither of those things.
They have neither symphonic or power, do they? They're, of course, a progressive death metal band, which no one else had the balls to do before these guys came along.
No, they're definitely, they like to do their own thing, for sure.
Yeah. What the hell is this? This shouldn't work, should it, on any level? But
it's certainly a weird thing on paper, right?
Yeah. So I mean, when we done one other prog band on this show so far, which was Dream Theater, and this is like completely different.
Yeah.
Really.
And I said on that episode that when you're dealing with progressive bands, like none of them sound like each other, and that's why it's so hard. Like you can like one prog band and not like another very easily.
Exactly, like because OPETH seemed to be well, it's all Mikkel. How do you say his name again?
I just say I'm going with Michael.
Michael, yeah,
Michael. But I'm sure he pronounces it differently in Sweden. But
sure, he's the main guy. Obviously, it's his band. He writes everything pretty much, does it all. He seemed like he was obviously really into death metal when he was younger, so that's where the death metal aspect of his music comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dream Theater seemed to be more into like the traditional, like Metallica style metal.
Yeah, Metallica along with the older prog bands like Rush and Genesis, and even like Deep Purple. You can definitely tell a lot of Deep Purple influence in there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the same is with OPETH, really. You can definitely hear a lot of those influences, especially.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He mentions Yes a lot. Yes seem to be the prime suspect for all these
I mean,
guys.
Yes was a big deal back in the day.
I don't know anything about Yes, really, other than what you've told me.
I mean, they're a great band. They're definitely way fucking over the top. Like, as far as, like, even, like, in the realm of prog goes, like, they're just, like, yeah,
as proggy as you can.
Yeah, they get silly, like straight silly.
Shit? I always remember, like, I can't remember if you showed me like a video of theirs or something. It might have been them. There was one video where it was like people like dressed in like flower costumes or something running around on a stage.
No, that was Genesis.
Okay.
For my money, though, Genesis way better than Yes. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot take. Well, when we get to our Yes versus Genesis episodes,
it might be a while. Yeah. Or never, considering the name of our podcast.
Definitely not the podcast.
Heavy metal melee.
Heavy metal influencers.
Yeah.
I think the most we can get away with is maybe like Deep Purple.
Yeah, we could hit Deep Purple for sure. Rainbow, especially, I think.
Oh yeah, but Rainbow is proto metal. That's definitely applicable.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about Rainbow.
Nope, not today.
So, I mean, it's like almost like hippie death metal at times.
This is definitely got that very like, psychedelic.
Yeah, there's a lot of
groovy kind of fucking shit to it.
Yeah. I had a weird coincidence. After we did the Slayer episode, I was watching TV, just randomly flicking through, and South Park was on. And it was that episode, I don't know if you remember this one, it was quite an old one, where there's like a hippie influx into the town.
Mm-hmm.
And Cartman is really concerned about it because he's like, he can spot the signs of what's happening. And he's like, they're going to start a hippie festival. It's going to be a hippie festival. And at the end of the episode, anyway, it ends with like this massive hippie festival, and then Cartman has to save the day. And what he does is he says, he plays Slayer to scare all the hippies away. And so I was thinking with OPETH, the hippies would be fucking confused because
right. Would they be scared and run away, or would they like it?
Yeah.
It depends on the song. That I think that's
or the album or the section in the song in some cases.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about OPETH is like I don't think hippies would actually like it because even their softer sections are very depressing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this whole entire album's kind of like dark.
Yeah.
It's fucking, especially around this time period, he seemed to be going through a lot of dark thoughts. And yeah, I mean, bleak is the word. They had a song called Bleak, didn't they?
Which is a great song. That's on Blackwater Park.
Yeah. That sums up a lot of the feeling of OPETH. It's like, I don't know, it's heavy stuff. It's really heavy.
I mean, this whole album is it's basically a concept album, or at least it started that way. And then he kind of later said that he kind of wasn't going to like call it a concept album, even though it clearly is.
Yeah.
But it's all about kind of occult themes and satanic rituals and
yeah, you can hear it in the lyrics.
Killing. I think the main character kills his mother because of being possessed by the devil. So lighthearted, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised none of these were hit singles.
Yeah. I think I got, just from listening to the album, I got about half the story because when he growls, I can't understand most of what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
He does have a great growling.
He has an incredible growl. He sounds like a fucking demon. Like,
really fucking good at what he does. That's for sure. And then when he changes his up to his normal singing voice, beautiful.
His normal singing voice. It's not awesome. Technically impressive, but it feels so personal. I don't know how to describe it.
It also really fits in with their music. Like it's another one of those examples where we were talking about in a few episodes before. You listen to it, it could be a better vocalist, but it's hard to imagine them changing it because this one fits it so well.
Yeah, his voice is almost calming when he does his clean singing.
Yeah.
Very much.
It's so weird. Like
there's a certain song in here in this album. There's a certain song in this album. You're just like,
he definitely like.
You just want to just float a little bit. It's really weird, but it's a really nice song.
So I mean, I guess we should just quickly say. So this is pretty much the first week of me listening to OPETH seriously.
Same.
So that, I mean, it was a bit of a crash course, not gonna lie. So I listened to a few of the albums, and I feel like he got better at singing clean as well.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I would imagine that as you do it,
he was very self-conscious about his clean singing at first.
Yeah, I'm sure he got like a lot of critique. You know, people saying like, "Oh, if you change this up, or if you take this singing lesson or whatever, you can clean it up a little bit, and it really fits in with the theme." Now, so this is their 8th album, right?
Yeah.
So what is the significance of this one? Was this when they started getting a little bit lighter? Was this when they started getting a little heavier?
I think this is just arguably their best album, and that's why I picked it. I'm the only one in the group who was an OPETH fan before this.
He's the only one.
I tried to gauge both of you, but you didn't know what I was talking about, so...
Yeah,
I was between this and Blackwater Park.
You could have fed us the shittiest album, and we were like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like this album's a bit more approachable.
It's
a great theme. I love the theme about it.
Yeah.
As dark as it is, but the music is pretty easy to digest. And
it's always got a good. But Matt, so are these one of your favorites? Would you say, OPETH as a band in general?
Yeah, the thing with OPETH, though, I have to be in a certain mood.
A depressed mood.
A bit. Like, this album is a bit more upbeat compared to, like, Damnation. Did you listen to that one?
I did, like, once, so it doesn't stick in my memory.
Damnation is pretty much all just quiet OPETH. There's no growling. Very little, even, like heavy guitars, if any.
Yeah, they did, like, a Heaven and Hell type thing, didn't they, where they had one clean vocal album and one growly one.
Yeah, but Damnation's the clean one, and it's so depressing. It is a very depressing album. But when I'm in that sort of mood, it like hits all the spots.
Yeah.
When you feel like shit and you want to feel like more shit, you listen to that.
No, okay. So when you're not feeling great, it's often good to listen to something that kind of echoes how you're feeling.
It's a cathartic experience for sure. It's the same. I mean, we're basically describing music to the listeners.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm in an aggressive mood, I want to listen to aggressive music. When I'm in a depressed mood, I want to listen to depressive music.
Yeah.
But this is so to me. This is what I call car music, because when I was listening to some of the stuff, it took me back to being in a car with you at certain points. Like I always there was one song in particular on one of the albums where I was like, oh shit, yeah, I remember Matt playing this for me back in the day. But yeah, they're so I've you know how we always talk about like gateway metal bands. I was thinking Opeth are like a gateway prog band. Like if somebody who was really into like extreme music and death metal and stuff, then they hear Opeth and they go and check out Yes or Genesis.
Yeah,
or
I mean, I'm sure it's happened. For me, it was the opposite. I was a prog guy, and people kept recommending me Opeth, and they're like, well, you have to get used to the growling. And I was like, man, I don't like that.
I was really surprised when you wanted to cover an Opeth song. And I was like, Opeth? I remember a lot of growling because I heard a few of their songs like long ago, but I always knew that you were never really big into the whole growling scenes. So when
this is still the only band I really listen to that has growls. But
I was
like,
gonna ask you, what's your favorite death metal band?
Right here,
Opeth.
The only death metal band I listen to. Yeah, it's just I didn't like his growling at first, obviously, but it did grow on me a little bit. But what I keep coming back to Opeth because of the music. Like it's such interesting music. You don't hear it anywhere else. Like no other prog bands sound like this. No other death metal bands sound like this. They're like completely unique.
Yeah, they are very unique, and that's why I said it could have been a mess. But this guy's clearly a genius, so he made it work. But yeah, I was wondering about the growls as well because well, he stopped, didn't he? Now in the last 4 albums, he's no growls at all.
Yeah,
apparently.
The last 4 albums are very interesting. They sound like 70s prog albums, like from head to toe. It's not just the growling that's gone. Like they're not as heavy. They even their production, they went to like a more analog production.
So he just changed
it sounds like it was recorded in the 70s.
Right.
Now, would you say that's better or worse as an Opeth fan?
I don't like it as much.
You missed the growling. So you admit that you like the growling.
It's not just the growling. I don't.
Admit it, you love the growling.
I also feel like the songwriting it got a bit weirder, even weirder than this.
Do you wish he had stayed really fucking depressed and hated?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just like the more depressing stuff.
Is it when an artist gets inspired and then it goes a little too far off of what they usually go and like, well, this is what we like, not whatever the fuck.
The funny thing is, like before, like Blackwater Park, like their sound was completely different. They were like almost a pure death metal band. They had.
It seems like his musical journey is just encompassed in this band, isn't it? Because he started off as a death metal kid, then he got more into proggy stuff, but he kept the death metal elements, and now he's just gone. He's gone now.
There's like 3 clear like like the band's gone through 3 like phases. 3 clear phases. And I like the middle phase. I think the middle phase is the most balanced, the most interesting.
It's a good balance. So so I'm not familiar with the whole discography of Opeth, but would you say like the first part of it was more death metal, like a lot more of that heavy stuff?
Much heavier, much less refined.
This is the more like I guess you could say proggy, but I'm saying like experimental, where they're trying to like, oh, let's try fitting in this softer.
They've always been experimental. I think this is just the best kind of combination of like really heavy metal and like the softer prog.
Yeah, this seems like a prog metal band with death metal influences rather than the other way around in this album, to me anyway.
Yeah, for this album. But like if you go a few albums earlier, like not Damnation, Deliverance and Blackwater Park, even those, even though I consider them like middle period albums, They're still, I feel, more death metal than
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I haven't listened to the newest 4 either, really. But part of what I liked about this album in particular is the unexpectedness of like going from a really, serene kind of slow section and then suddenly an explosion of the growls and stuff.
And I
So
think that's mostly
without
because
that,
of how long these tracks are.
yeah.
They're
But
very long.
yeah, but if you don't have that, then it's a completely different band, and really, isn't it? And like you said, they've even changed their style a bit as well. But so this album in particular was the last one for a few of the members, right?
Oh yeah, he got rid of, well, the drummer. There was a different situation for all of them. The drummer had, I think, stage fright or something, or maybe he was sick. But for whatever reason, I think he was like, I can't really continue with this band.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you look it up? It's been a while since I.
It just said health reasons, really.
Yeah.
Which is not great. I mean, if it is anxiety and stress, stage fright, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
for being
definitely
in a band.
And then they replaced the guitarist after this. The other guitarist.
Peter Lindgren.
I think so. Yeah. And I can't remember why. I think he might have just left.
I read a bit about this. Yeah, basically this is when, so in the last few albums, the band became a bit more professional. I think this album they signed with a major record company.
They signed with Roadrunner for this one, I think.
So this was like their big, selling out.
Yeah,
album.
this is not a selling out album.
It's like, oh, we're gonna sell out now. We're gonna do Ghost Reveries. Yeah, okay. Well, apparently he just it was too much for him, all the touring and the stress and everything, and he became detached a bit more. And again, yeah, like I said, like when we did the Nightwish episode, all this fucking drama and stuff, these guys are just kind of like, yeah, all right, you don't want to do it anymore, I'll go. And now apparently he's an IT consultant.
Wow.
Interesting.
According to Wikipedia. So, yeah.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do.
Yeah. Imagine just going into an office and just the guy from OPETH's first 8 albums.
Man, I'm sure he gets a fair amount of royalties from those.
Yeah, he might be doing all right for himself. Yeah. But this is what we're dealing with. There's a bit boring, aren't they? Really, in terms of drama.
They honestly seem like such chill guys. Like I'd love to just hang out with them.
Yeah, I watched a lot of interviews with Mikhail, especially, and he just seems really like to the point, deadpan kind of,
Yeah, he seems like just a normal guy. He has a great sense of humor. I've seen them live a few times, and he's a like. It definitely feels like he's not an extrovert. Like he's not like. Totally like excitable and like riling up the crowd. He's kind of more cool-headed, but he says all these like funny different jokes. It's good. It's a good experience.
Very dry.
Yeah,
it's
very dry.
You always presume performers are going to be really extroverted and stuff, but sometimes they're not. But yeah, I saw he did an interview with Mike Portnoy, so he's made another appearance.
That's like the two most different personalities I can think of, because Mike is definitely an extrovert and very talkative.
I just remember you saying he just seems to be everywhere all the time, so he was popping up in OPETH's
little circle.
Yeah, these prog guys. So I decided to make up my own drama because there's nothing, to be honest. Okay. I think Michael is.
You're not firing me. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, we need to talk about your output, Matt. No, I think Michael has been possessed by the soul of a dead hippie. I got some evidence for this. Well,
first of all, very good evidence.
I mean, have you seen him? He looks like he's from the 60s. Not even just in his fucking music, but his style as well. Like,
yeah.
And I got a quote from him in an interview. This was a 2016 interview with something called The Quietus, which is a very fitting name for him to do an interview for. So the interviewer was saying he saw them in a gig in 2003. And then he asked Michael if he recognizes himself in that band now. And Michael says, I can't really explain it. But when I think back to that band, I feel completely detached. Like they're not the same guy. I'm not the same guy, to the point where I'm wondering if that guy passed away and I'm an imposter.
So he's a clone this whole time.
Just saying. Sounds a bit like
sounds like Jim Carrey when Jim Carrey says the shit that he does.
It reminds me of did you ever see that movie Being John Malkovich?
Where they find a portal. I actually saw that recently. My roommate was like, "You need to see this," and I saw it.
Have you never seen it? It's a great movie.
Well, this is what I think we're dealing with here. I think some
being Mike Wakerfeld.
Some hippie just managed to find a portal into his brain, and it's like, no, dude, you need to be a bit more prog.
He did. He became much more prog.
Ever since the Occult album.
Yeah.
Oh shit! A demon is possessing him.
Wasn't this the first album prog where they had a keyboardist and
this is the first metal album where they have keyboards that are prominent. I mean, there are some keyboards on Blackwater Park, mostly like piano. But that was played by Steven Wilson, who was their producer. He's in the band Porcupine Tree, which is a great band.
Porcupine.
Yeah, that came up a lot in my research for this band. They seem to be pretty big influence on them.
Yeah, they're like best buds now. But he played a bit of keyboards on Blackwater Park, and then he played keyboards on their album Damnation, which again was the softer album they did. And then I think this guy, his name's Per or something like that.
Per Weiberg?
Yeah, Per Weiberg. He was touring with OPETH for a while, probably since Blackwater Park, doing the keyboard parts. And this is the first album where he's like a full member.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this is the hippie. He was like, dude, I know this sick keyboard mellotron player, man. You gotta bring him in.
I don't know. For me, like, the addition of the keyboards changed everything. Like, it's part of the reason why I like this album so much more than Blackwater Park. Even though Blackwater Park is a great album, this album has a bit more color thanks to all the keyboard sections. I find it a bit more interesting.
Yeah. I listened to Blackwater Park a few times this week, and I'm glad you chose this album.
Yeah,
it does have a bit more, especially when, like, again, I've only listened to Oba for a week now, and I'm fully aware that it takes longer than a fucking week.
Blackwater Park is a bit harder to get into, but that was their breakout album. That was the album that put them on the map. So
yeah,
and I know, like, previously,
how long ago was that one?
That was like 2000, I think, that came out. And this one was 2005, so there was a few albums in between. So
right, yeah. So this is the latest album we've done in terms of timeline, because this once was 2004, wasn't it?
Yeah, beat it by a year.
And this week I felt like you know when you're like doing a course in school and it's like a 9-month course and you just start cramming in the last week.
It's not the best way to absorb OPETH, I think. You need more than a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't until yesterday that I finally was able to click, differentiate songs, because there's a lot of times where I would be listening to a track and I'll be like, oh damn, this song sounds good. What is it? It's the same fucking song.
It's all the same song. Yeah.
That's like, wow, why does this sound so fucking different?
Yeah, exactly. It flows pretty well, this album, for the most part as well. So it's hard to just different.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it sort of clicked on, I think it was Wednesday after like third or fourth listen, where I started getting bits of it stuck in my head. And
I figured that would be the case for you guys.
It's got some deep hooks, this one, man. And the hooks aren't there, on the surface. You got to dig deep for those.
Yeah. Hooks. I mean, I love it, so it's got to have some hooks.
Yeah.
But this is, I feel like, compared to Images and Words, which is the other prog album we did, this is definitely harder to get into.
Yeah, there's a lot less joy in this album.
Honestly, I would say that I probably like this album more than the Images and Words.
I'm not surprised. I feel like this is definitely more up your alley.
So. I think I preferred this one as well, even though I voted for Images and Words over Ride the Lightning, which
hot takes.
I'm never going to live that one down.
It doesn't matter, right? The Lightning still won.
Yeah, that's true.
You just took away your own Metallica fan card.
I had a weird week. It was a weird week. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Experimented with a few things, and that's what happened.
I mean, I do feel like Images and Words, I don't know. I don't know if I would have chosen it again. Like after listening to it for a week, I was like, maybe I should have picked a different Dream Theater album.
Well, we'll have another chance with Dream Theater at some point. All right. Well, before we get into the album, it's time for our favorite segment.
What do you mean? Dave Mustaine.
We need to get that jingle going. Look it out. Dave Mustaine stories.
Yay. Story time.
Yay. Okay. So, didn't seem to be a lot, to be honest. He's obviously from a different era. But
he has an opinion on everything, so there's got to be something.
There's something, yeah. Well, so Dave Mustaine, around the mid-2000s, he had a festival. It was the Dave Mustaine's festival. It's called Gigantor. And the basic concept of the festival was that he chooses the bands that are going to play.
That's a strong concept right there.
And OPETH made the cut. OPETH made the cut. So he is clearly a fan, or he just thinks they'll suck so much that Megadeth will sound great.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah. It's the Dave Mustaine police.
Yeah. we went too far this time.
Yeah. So it may not surprise you that Gigantor didn't last very long. I think there was like 3 or 4 editions of it. This was an interview in a podcast that he talking about Gigantor, and he said, "But you see, the problem with Gigantor, it started out great when it was just purely my idea. The manager, but the manager at the time there was very unmetal, and consequently, year after year, it kind of lost its steam. So Gigantor died away because the suits got involved.
Yeah, it's not Dave Mustaine's fault.
But apparently, OPETH played in 2006, which was when it was still cool. So that
would have been like right after this album, right?
Yeah. So Mikkel was part of this tour, and he heard this story about Dave Mustaine. So Mikkel is quite possibly one of the most rock and roll guys that we've done on this podcast so far.
I mean, he's a prog guy. I told you guys before that the prog guys are a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have any vices really, other than alcohol, but that's just normal. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, apparently he smoked a vape when on this tour.
You fucking serious?
Yeah.
Insane, man. That's crazy.
Hold on. Here is justification for it. So this was a quote from him. He said, "I was pretty drunk at the time. We were touring with them on Gigantor. I think Dave took a liking to me a little bit. Every now and then he would say hi to me, depending on his mood.
Wow.
But we talked.
That's a lot.
That's a sign of real friendship there.
That's more than he does with his actual friends."
He said, "He's a good guy. He's a fun guy to talk to. Contrary to what a lot of people think about him, that he's this big narcissistic guy who's just moody as hell. Yeah, he could be a bit moody, but he's fun. What happened was I got into his dressing room, or their dressing room. I can't remember which one I was doing there, to be honest. He was smoking this thing, and I'd never seen it. He was like, 'Do you want a hit?' And the other guys too, like the crew, some people in there. And I was like, 'Yeah, I'll try it. But it's not for me. I don't smoke weed and that kind of stuff. I got really high, actually. I haven't tried anything. I'm Swedish. We drink beer. I'm a wine guy. I never tried all the classic drugs. I never tried anything.'
That's why I picked the red wine. I know he's a big red wine guy.
Yeah. Well, but it's funny because when we did the Metallica album, you didn't have like 4 bottles of vodka. So.
Is that the Metallica alcohol of choice?
Pretty sure that's what they would.
I don't know if Metallica has an alcohol of choice. I feel like it's just whatever's in front of them.
Yeah, that's probably true. They probably released some Metallica brand shit that.
They have a Metallica lager, or the Lightning lager.
It's a bit light for them, isn't it, lager?
It is very strange that they went with that.
It's only served in 24 packs, and you have to drink it all at once.
Yeah. Well, so Mikkel, that was his wild, crazy tour story there. So this is what we're working here with, man. We got fucking nothing with these guys. He's never done anything, so maybe that hippie, when that hippie takes full control, he's gonna get him into some LSD or some shit.
I love Michael. He's one of my favorite metal personalities. I'll be honest. Like I feel like if he's the one I can relate the most to.
You're a fucking hippie?
I am a
snore
fucking
lot.
hippie. You know what I listen to.
I was like, you know what's funny? Because I've been listening to a few of his interviews this week, and I was like, I can see a bit of Matt Fox in this guy. I think you guys would be great friends. But anyway, when we get back, we're gonna get into the album.
Do you want to give us any comments or questions? Give us a like on Twitter at heavymetalmelee, or send us an email at heavymetalmelee@gmail.com.
So that's good enough, I think.
Good enough. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, it's pretty much the aim of this show. Also, I don't think we mentioned this enough, but people, like, we announce what we're going to do, so listen along at home as well, you know? Join us. This is like a music club. We want to hear your input and what you guys think of these albums as well.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Ghost Reveries. Or Ghost Reveries.
Ghost Reveries.
There we go. Fucking hard to growl, man. I have a lot of respect for these growlers.
It's
so.
hard. Hurts the throat.
It's crap. August 27th, 2005. So this is the latest one we've done so far. What were you doing in it in 2005?
Graduated.
That was
high school.
That was the year after I graduated. That was my year off where I did not go to college. I just hung out in my parents' basement. That was so cool.
Listening to Dream Theater?
Probably listening to this album.
Oh man, the new OPETH album. Oh shit.
This was okay. So I didn't get into OPETH until Watershed came out, which was the album after this, and that was I got it like it had just come out. So I was like, I went to get into OPETH, and I was like, well, this one's new. Why not? Oh, but it's a great album. It's like right up there with Ghost Reveries for me.
Right. So you've been OPETH since way back then.
Yeah, that was like 2007, I guess.
Yeah.
2006.
2006, 2007. I don't know. Around then.
I wasn't listening to OPETH.
Well,
I wasn't listening to OPETH until 2021.
This is around the time that I was first introduced to OPETH because I had a coworker that really liked them, and we would just hang out.
I'm surprised you guys didn't listen to them more. I know, like, I think I probably tried to.
The thing is, I don't think death metal was really my thing at the time. I was still in that thrash metal phase. So, like, anything Slayer, Megadeth, and Metallica, I was just soaking up all that shit. Which is funny
because you should be a death metal guy because they're your boys.
They're here in the good old Orlando area.
Yeah, that's where the whole scene.
But OPETH is not from Orlando.
Definitely not.
They're from Sweden, which
they would probably love Orlando if they came here, but they never fucking tour here. OPETH.
Wow.
Most metal bands don't, do they?
I know. No one ever comes to Florida.
It's not Florida's fault. It
is Florida's fault because of the way it's shaped. So when I went to Prog Power years ago, I even asked the guy. I was like, we went to a signing, and I got to, shake his hand, sign. I don't even know who it was. I just was hyped because I got to meet someone. And I was like, why don't you guys come to Florida? And they're like, it's kind of weird because, when you go to Florida, you're going down, but you can't go through it. You have to come back up. So it just doesn't make any sense for any band to go down and then come back.
Yeah, you guys really fucked up when you were designing the shape of that state.
Hey, man, Ponce de Leon could suck a nut.
That is the weirdest fucking reason for not touring a place I've ever
So,
heard.
like with every other state, though, you can go through a state and just keep going on to the next state.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Florida.
I totally get that. I totally get that. But it's also, I don't feel like bands, at least metal bands, tour the South a lot. Like they'll just they'll stop at like Richmond and then just not go any further.
I mean, I would say Atlanta, Georgia's pretty decent still.
I was going to say, are you sure it's not because if a band like OPETH came to Florida, they'd be playing in pubs with like 20 people rather than if they play in Europe where they can play in front of thousands,
OPETH has a pretty good draw here in America. I feel like they probably have a better draw than Nightwish because we talked about that a few episodes ago.
I would say OPETH is a little bit more prevalent here than Nightwish is.
Yeah, I feel like their style is a bit more interesting to Americans. The whole I don't think Americans really adopted the whole symphonic metal thing that much.
I mean, it's a really unique niche.
Yeah, and even in England, to be we're more aligned with our musical tastes, I think, as a country as a whole with you guys, really.
Well, you said the music scene in England was garbage, so that would align with America. So
yeah, it's not great. But yeah,
you
Sweden
guys like the
obviously
shit
these
like
guys.
the Beatles.
Well, yeah.
what?
Just kidding.
Beatles are not shit.
Yes, are all those proggy bands from England? Yes, and Genesis.
Yeah, they're all Genesis, King Crimson. Yeah, they're all. England did a lot for rock music. Like you can't overstate like the fact that all the best rock bands of that era came out of England.
Also metal as well.
Metal
Black
too.
Sabbath, Judas Priest, Deep Purple.
Mm-hmm. Maiden.
We rule, guys. We rule. But shout out to Sweden, as we did to Finland in the last episode. Sweden is insane. Like they're
Sweden's
just like a
great.
fucking, like even just in general pop music, like ABBA. Fucking hell, man! Like it's Swedish
was huge.
Seems to be in their blood, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm doing my world tour on my React channel where I'm going to 40 different countries, and Sweden's coming up. Not really; it's still a ways away. But I'm deciding now, like which Swedish band I need to react to for the tour, and it's fucking impossible to figure out like which one to do. I think I've got it down to 3, which is Meshuggah,
OPETH.
Well, no, I
knows
can't react to OPETH. I know all their songs. It's Meshuggah. It is Sabaton and At the Gates. Is that a band?
Yeah, At the Gates.
That's a really good trio. That's a hard choice to make.
Yeah, those are like the 3 most popular Swedish bands I don't know.
An influence on which one he reacts to, tell us in the comments below.
Sure. Yeah, I'll read them. So why not?
All right, let's do it. So the personnel on this album, we've got Mikkel on vocals, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, acoustic guitar, mellotron. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what some of these instruments are.
Mellotron. Yeah, mellotron is all those weird sounding like strings and choirs that sound real dated, like they're from the 70s.
Okay.
Like
that makes a lot of sense about some of the sounds in this album.
A good example would be Beneath the Mire.
Oh, the intro to that.
Yeah, that's the mellotron.
Okay, I quite dig it. Peter Lindgren lead guitar, Martin Mendez on bass. I don't know is he still in the band or?
Yeah, he's been there since basically the beginning.
Per Weiberg, who came in for this album, right?
He came in for this album and stayed until Heritage, I think. So 3 albums.
Okay. Yeah, so he did all right. He's on the.
He didn't get the Dave Mustaine treatment. He
left 3 albums, yeah.
And sued later on.
So he's on the organ, the mellotron as well, grand piano, and the moog. What the fuck's a moog?
It's a synthesizer.
Oh,
okay.
Which there's not a whole lot of that on this album, so I'm not exactly sure what song he played the Moog on.
It's not a Moog heavy album.
It's not, no.
And then Martin Lopez, drums, percussion. He left after this album.
God, he's such a fantastic drummer.
Really
the guy who replaced him, which is Axelrod, I think. Martin Axelrod.
Axl Rose.
Anyways, I think his name's Axelrod. That's his last name.
Right.
He's also fantastic, but Mendez is great. So
Lopez.
Mendez is the bass. There's a lot of Martins involved in this band. I don't know why.
Yeah. There is too many Martins. One of them should have changed the name. And then we got Jens Bogren, producer. So this is a really well-sounding album. So
it is. Yeah.
Well done to him.
I think this is one of their best sounding albums.
Well, you just said that this was their first time with Roadrunner, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason. They might have had more money behind them, but
who
knows?
I mean, Roadrunner came out with quite a few good albums from different bands.
Yeah, Roadrunner is considered more of a. I thought they were more of like a pop punk sort of label, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who cares?
It
sounds great.
Yeah. So all the tracks are written by Mikkel. I think that's pretty much for all their albums, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely the main guy behind everything.
He's the fucking dude. And you can tell, obviously, like the way that the band has changed over the years.
Probably depends on his mood and how much the hippie has taken over.
Yeah, the other musicians probably get into the studio like, what the fuck is he going to bring to us? But anyway, so we're back to 8 tracks. Hey, the classic 8-track album.
The magic
Yeah.
number. The magic number.
It is. Although this could have been probably a 12-track album.
Oh,
let's be
easily.
honest.
Yeah, well, yeah.
With the way some of these songs went.
Now I got to give a shout out to the length because it was really close to the magic number. It was 66 minutes and 46 seconds. So they were close to the 666, but not quite.
Is this the longest album we've done?
I don't think so.
Was Dream Theater longer than this?
No.
This is only like an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe Nightwish, but I feel like this is longer than most of the albums we've done.
Nightwish was only an hour.
Wasn't Rain in Blood? Rain in Blood was a bit longer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, actually. It might have been the longest one.
I think this might have been the longest album we've done so far.
Yeah, this is the longest album. Yeah.
I got a few.
It was either this one, Nightwish, or Dream Theater, because it sure as hell wasn't any of the thrash bands.
I got a bit of maths trivia for you guys as we go through this. But the first one is you could have listened to Rain in Blood twice in the time it would take you to listen to this album. So yeah, as we've discussed, it's an almost concept album. Most of the songs seem to flow in a story and they refer to each other, but there's a few. It's like you, Corey, I found it difficult. The ranking of this album I found difficult because I couldn't also always tell what was a different song or not.
Yeah.
I do feel like
I said, there's always times where I'm like, damn, this is a good track.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I'm still listening to this.
Yeah. It's I feel like there are 4 songs which are definitely the better songs, in my opinion. But
also there's like,
do they happen to also be the 4 songs that are
they're the 4 longest
over
songs?
10,
yes.
4 over 10 minutes long? So just like how half of the Rain and Blood album was over 200 beats per minute, half of this album is over 10 minutes long.
Yes.
Yeah, longer is better, right? I mean, we all can agree
on that.
That's what
people tell me.
Before we jump into it, I'm just going to say as a disclaimer, I sometimes can't tell the difference between a guitar, a piano, an organ, a keyboard.
We're not musically classically trained.
I mean, I am. I can tell you.
You can tell
us. We'll see. We'll see.
We're just a bunch of fucking normals.
Because I'd have to be listening at the time.
We enjoy what we're listening to. It's not like we dissect what we're listening to.
Yeah. Oh, that's my biggest problem, isn't it? Can't really enjoy anything.
The curse of a musician.
It really is sometimes.
Like something that we would be like, oh, that was sick. You're like, oh, this is so stressful.
That just reminded me, one of the things I was reading about this band is Peter Lindgren. He's been there pretty much from the beginning until this album. And apparently, like, he would, like, one of the things that they mentioned was that he, like, recorded a tape of riffs and gave it to Michael. Before, I think it was before this album or something, and Michael listened to it and he's like, I don't like any of it.
Yeah, no, I heard that story. That's a true
bad.
Story.
And he went to the other members of the band and was like, what do you think of this? And they were like, no, it's shit, like it's no good.
That's a shitty situation. Like, I feel for all parties involved, I'll be honest.
But they handled it exactly like how I would handle it, which is why it stuck out to me, which is basically when he came into the studio or whatever to do this album, like none of the riffs were in it. And they just never spoke about it.
That's exactly how I would handle it too.
Yeah.
My band hates me for it.
Yeah, just no one spoke about it. But then he did leave after this. So, and then Michael did an interview like after the fact, and he said he did ask him like, what did you think about, that I didn't use any of your riffs?
How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Was that why you left?
What did he say?
Yeah, I probably should have looked that up. I don't remember what he said.
Well, it's an open-ended question, isn't it?
Well, make up your own drama. Maybe something
you guys
bad
decide what he said. Yeah.
He said, "Fuck you, Michael."
Choose your own adventure here.
You know folks. What? Write your own fucking riffs. Then there you go. But yeah, awkward. But I like the awkwardness of this. These guys are fucking awkward. You can tell.
I don't think they're that awkward. I've certainly seen more awkward musicians in my life.
I think it's more of a cultural thing. Like Sweden people are just a little bit more to the point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So it seems awkward, but they're just like, yeah, we're just.
They're more like just they present facts. You know what I mean? Like, I always remember, for some reason, I had this memory of Ghost. They won a Grammy, right? Or they were nominated for
They
a
won,
Grammy.
yeah.
So
which was cut from the actual show because no one cares about the best metal performance anymore. But whatever.
Yeah. So they were at the Grammy ceremony and they were on the red carpet and they were in full gear. They had the full makeup and everything on. And this like snarky kind of American journalist guy was like, "Hey, look at these guys all dressed up like fucking demons or whatever." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, how do you play on stage with all that makeup on and everything?" And the guy just like straight back. He was like, "Yeah, obviously we get a bit sweaty and the makeup runs off." And it's just like
he's just honest. Yeah, that's funny.
He was probably expecting him to be like, "Oh, we're fucking metal," or whatever. They were just like, "No, yeah, it just runs off."
It's a bit warm. Yeah.
It's probably because that guy was probably so used to Guar giving him answers.
Exactly. He was expecting something else, but no, he did not get it. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get into it.
Before that.
Yapping?
More yapping. No, I just wanted to say that the first OPETH show I saw, Ghost was the opener. And Michael said on stage that he feels like they're the best band coming out of Sweden right now. And this was before they got like super, super big.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
They exploded, man.
I think this was their first. This was their first American tour. So, anyways, let's go.
What year was this?
Shit. This was probably 2009 or 10, I'd guess.
That's a pretty good time. Damn.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ghost of Perdition, first song on this album.
First song?
Oh, Ghost of Perdition.
Ghost of Perdition. Yeah, I love that shit, man. Oh my god, it's such a good opening song.
Yeah.
First song.
This is my number one.
Best song.
Hey.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
This is such a good song.
This is probably the one OPETH song on the album where, as far as like the long songs go, like I feel like it doesn't need to be any shorter. This is like.
It's so good. I even said awesome start to the album, great pacing, intriguing changes in the tempo and the tone throughout the entire track.
Yeah, it's always interesting.
Strangely enough, when he was growling, I misheard him saying draining the weakness to draining the weenus. Because he didn't say the K very prominently, so I'm just like draining the weenus.
I don't even know what part you're talking about because I can't tell.
It was one of the growling parts, but the thing is, he didn't like say the K strong enough, so I just like draining the weenus.
Oh, I have no fucking clue what he's talking about when he's growling. I've never actually looked at the lyrics.
Yeah. It's very dark. It's very dark. It's very.
Well, I know it's about murdering your mother, but
I thought it was like some exorcism or something.
Something close to that.
On. It's good storytelling anyway. He catches all the different moods and stuff. I got my Slayer Rain and Blood fact. So at this point, after this song's finished, you could be 1 minute and 53 seconds into Altar of Sacrifice, which is the fourth track.
The fourth track.
So you're already 4 in if you were listening.
You're already about halfway through the Slayer album. At this point.
Yeah, they're all about the long songs. It's definitely it's hit or miss sometimes, but this is definitely a hit. This is a
super hit, man. Super hit.
It's so good. It's honestly so good. The beginning is very good. It's a great way to, like you just said, it was the opening to their the show, and it's such a great way to start.
Yeah, this is considered one of their masterpieces, if not like their best song. So
like ever.
A lot of people would say. I looked at some some fan polls, and this was often number one. So
that's awesome.
It's definitely the song you would show someone to say this is OPETH, because he goes through all of the range of everything he can do.
Yeah,
it starts off so fucking dark and that kind of, and it just explodes into the fucking growls and shit. It's a good story. Like I put, every section I never got bored throughout the song. Some of the other songs I do get a bit bored at points.
Now this was the first song. This was the first song where it did its slowdown and it picked back up, and I'm like, oh, this is a great track. Which one is this one? And that's when I got confused. I'm like, I'm still on the first fucking track.
Yeah.
What the shit?
Yeah. It's got some great melodies as well throughout. Like I like it's kind of like almost like a fairy tale. Like here he goes.
I love the
yeah, there's
devil
definitely- it
cracks the
definitely
earth
has,
to
like,
shell that told you what's
it
the
definitely
one.
has this like beginning
Yeah,
of
that's
journey
great.
feel.
Yeah,
Like
it's creepy as
we're
well.
we're gonna throw you into this journey, and this is the beginning part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I love all that shit.
It's a
Also
fucking
the higher
fantastic
part where he
song.
says higher. I can't sing like he does, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, I like how they revisit that melody at the very end.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
cool
they
as
do.
well.
They do.
And then after that as well, the first time they do it, it goes into this really heavy bass and insane like build up to the next part. It's cool. Also, I wanted to give a shout out. Probably one of the elements of this whole entire album that I really appreciated was the fucking acoustic guitar playing.
Mhm.
Like, it's so good. It sounds so clear as well. You can hear everything that they're playing, and like some of the melodies and riffs and stuff they're doing is insane.
Yeah, their acoustic playing is like next level.
Yeah.
It fits so well, and like it works with the death metal because it's very like it feels very solemn. Like it just kind of dreary and
it's so weird how it fits in so well.
Yeah.
It's
This
like
song
it shouldn't even be allowed to be that nice.
Yeah. But this song in particular had that kind of like play aspect to it where he was playing different roles throughout and it just all kind of worked really. And I don't know why, but the one thing that stuck out is the very end of this song. He does this really fucking heavy riff to end it before he gets back into the higher part, where he's like playing some like nice melody, and it just goes dum 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 dum.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
when he goes to the Ghost of Perdition section.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like so fucking like it's like shutting it down. It's
like
yeah. Great riffing, great riffing. Yeah, it's my number one as well. Matt, was it your number one?
No, this is my number 2.
Oh, wait! Don't tell us what your number one is. No. I'm really excited because I'm. Which one your number one is?
This is the experienced OPETH.
Yeah. I'm very excited, but like already, this is like the best song on the album.
Yeah, this is definitely a very strong start.
This is a 1.3. This is on average. It's a
really
great
good
album. It's a
really great song. Great song. Playlist for me. I put it on my music playlist right away.
Very nice. I will probably do the same.
Okay, so the next song is The Baying of the Hounds. Yep. Another 10-minute plus song.
But also a very cool song. I like especially the intro.
I said a fantastic follow-up to Ghost. Very dark lyrically.
Yeah.
Especially the first song too, but this one especially.
Well, Corey, before you get into it, let me just do my Rain and Blood fact. So after this song, you're 21 minutes in. You would have just finished track 8 in Rain and Blood.
Wait, track 8 is
the one Epidemic, yeah.
Epidemic, yeah.
So you've just about finished the album.
So you're almost done with the album by now.
Yeah.
You only have Postmortem and Raining Blood left.
All right, Corey. So yeah, go on, carry on.
I really so there's this part in it. I even marked it down as like around the 7-minute mark where it slows down, and I thought that was just such a nice change of pace.
Honestly, I've got the same note. Around 7 minutes when the acoustic comes in.
Oh, it's so good. It's honestly really fucking good.
I got into a fucking trance listening to this album.
It's definitely a song that like you need to sit down and listen to this and really kind of like definitely. Let it absorb because there's a lot of especially the quiet section later on because it goes on for a while, but you kind of just have to let it roll over you, I guess.
Yeah, that when it goes like do do do.
Yeah, and that's a lot of OPETH music. You have to sit through a lot. Sometimes it gets boring, but
yeah. It's funny because you would have never like the opening 2 minutes of the song have got like a really nice bounce to them. It's almost like a Deep Purple song.
Oh yeah, this is definitely inspired by Deep Purple. The Hammond organ sound, the wow wow wow. Yeah,
if you had Deep Purple with growls, that's basically what it is.
I've heard I've seen reviews of this song where people said the exact same thing. So you're right on the money there.
Smoke on the wall.
This is one of my favorite growling performances of this album. I think.
No, his growling is fantastic.
I love his growling.
It's like so evil almost. It's really good.
Like I mean, I've listened to a lot of growly shit in the last sort of 8-9 years, and I put in my notes at the start, like, it doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, when this started, if I had listened to OPETH when I was, like, 18, I would have been like, nope, I don't want to hear this shit. Now I was just like, yeah, he's growling, whatever. But then the more I got into it, the more I was like, man, he's really fucking good at it. Like, no wonder people are upset.
Yeah, there's something about his growls. I can't really put it into words, but I like it's definitely super aggressive, but it's also very kind of approachable, and I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it's like how is that even possible?
Yeah,
he sounds like a monster. Like it's insane what he can do, and yeah, his vocal range, especially in this song, is incredible. Loses me a bit in the middle, like you were saying, Matt, but then it gets really heavy, and the acoustic bit is beautiful. The drumming is insane as well. It's great. It's a fucking great song, man.
Yeah.
So this one ranks number 3 on my power ranking.
That's pretty high.
My favorite song. I love this.
This is my number 4 or 5. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I put it.
You said the top. You said the 10-minute ones are all your top 4, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, but there's one shorter one that might beat this one.
There is one shorter one that I absolutely love, and it's the most random one. You guys aren't gonna guess which one it is.
So this was my number 4. This was my number 4 as well. So
really,
yeah,
very nice.
Matching so far. All right, so Beneath the Mire, the next song. So you're done with Rain and Blood at this point after this song. Finish, wrap it up, you're done. There's no more.
This is a really good song. I mean, this isn't one of my favorites, but I like the intro quite a bit.
I fucking love the intro, man. I wanted to do like that fucking, that kind of Arabian style.
This sounds like
I even said that in my notes. I said love that little quasi Egyptian sound.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking video game song. Like you're on the desert level.
Yeah, exactly. Desert level. Desert level of a fucking video game.
I put that in my fucking notes. I said it sounds like in the Mario Brothers game where you're in the desert level.
I can see this being a pretty big favorite among the fans. Maybe it's like the underrated one, but I don't know. But it was my number 5. I still loved it though.
Yeah, this is 5 or 6 for me.
I thought this is my number 3. I really enjoyed this one.
It's a really good. That beginning is really what sold me into it.
This is the hippie taking over as well. You could tell. It's like the hippie has possessed him now, and he's.
I also think that like this song is probably the most like if it wasn't for the lyrics of it, it's probably the most approachable for like a single. Like it could have been because the sound is pretty nice, but if you read the lyrics, it's kind of fucked. So
I mean, it's really good, but the fact that it's so like instrumental for like the first like few minutes,
no. They can usually like cut that kind of stuff. They've done it in a lot of.
Yeah, but that's like the best part.
It is the best part.
This is one of the songs where I couldn't. Sometimes I can't understand the transitions that are going on. Like it seems like almost like a struggle between. You are playing one style and then it goes fucking heavy and growly and shit, and it's like I don't know, I'm confused. But I like it, so who cares, man. Very cool guitar solo as well in this one. I really liked that.
They have some very good guitar solos. And the thing I like about OPETH, one of the many things I like about OPETH, like you can tell like their like guitar soloing is very unique, and you can like pick it out from like a lineup. Like I don't know what they're doing, like what scales, but there's like an OPETH scale out there where it's just like it's very unique, and they're the only people who fucking do it.
But also it kind of fits the mood of the songs as well. So like he has different styles of solos as well. And it's fucking cool. And then there's some weird fucking alien noises at the end. I don't know what's going on there. It's like some picking up some transmissions from space or something.
I don't remember. I'll have to re-listen to that part.
Yeah, I don't know what instrument that is. Maybe it's the Moog. Maybe it's the Moog.
Possible, yeah.
The Moog.
All right. Okay, so it's time to go to Woodstock for this next song. This one is Atonement.
This might be my number 4.
This is my number 4. Oh my god, are we best friends? What the fuck? This song is so good. I love this.
This is a fucking Beatles song, dude.
No, so I said I feel like this song is probably not loved because it's so different from the rest of it, like altogether. Like the tone.
I feel like to be an OPETH fan, you have to be willing to enjoy many different types of music. Yeah.
Let's see. I said it was a great lead up to the next song, and it's strangely soothing and groovy and chill. It's just I don't know.
This is the one where it's like a breather, but like midpoint kind of breather, and this is the one where I was like, okay, this isn't part of the concept album story, really, is it? Like, what's going on here?
This one is. The only one that's
Sort of.
not technically part of the story is Isolation
The last one.
Years,
Yeah,
which is the last one.
Okay.
But like I said, this is a psychedelic song. This is like purely
It's very psychedelic.
60s.
This is the song that made me think immediately of what like Tool usually did, like with some of their songs, and that made me ask you that questions. Like, do you think they both had like the same influences? Which obviously, you know, halfway through this
maybe
album,
I haven't heard enough Tool. I haven't heard any songs that are like this.
Tool is very similar to what this whole album's been sounding. With minus the growling, obviously.
This just seemed like an LSD trip to me, man. I wanted to smoke something.
Oh, for sure. Like, his vocals are processed exactly the same as the Beatles song Blue Jay Way, which is off of Magical Mystery Tour. It's exactly the same.
It's like got that kind of man. It's like liquid almost. The way
it's so good.
Kind of like I know they got one of those fucking Egyptian drummer guys going on in this one.
No, it's definitely pure Beatles. If you like this, you'll love like mid-period Beatles music.
Yeah, I love as well how the intro bit comes back throughout the song, especially like when he sings a beautiful melody as well, and he just ends and it goes back into that intro part. It's really cool.
Are you talking about the
and then it goes
the fact that the vocals during the verses or whatever are so processed, and then like suddenly they just open up and he does the ahs. It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous sounding.
I think this is honestly, it's weird because he doesn't really do a whole lot of singing, but I absolutely love what he does in this song.
Great song. This was my number 5 as well. This was a good one.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like this song probably gets overlooked a lot because, you know,
I'm sure it does.
10-minute epics are pretty badass.
I doubt they play this song live.
They do they would never, but I would love if they did. I would, because this is like a way for people to be just like,
if they played, if there was like a Woodstock revival,
this would be perfect for it.
There's been plenty of them, but OPETH's never been invited.
What the hell? Come on, guys.
Get your shit together, Woodstock.
He's even stopped growling now, so you know, come on, you can get him in there. All right, the next song is Reverie / Harlequin Forest.
This is my favorite song.
This is my second favorite song.
This is a fucking fantastic song, especially the beginning. Oh my god!
Okay, so beginning 3.5 minutes before the cooldown starts, I honestly think you could throw that into a radio, and everyone would be like, "I'll fucking listen to this. This is a fucking great song." Like the tone, the tempo, everything about it is just like, if I'm riding in a car, I'm not leaving this song.
Yeah, this is
such a good song.
This was a song that made me like a OPETH fanboy. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh my god! Like this is one of the most amazing things I think I've ever heard."
Was this especially the first sort of 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, it's the first half. Like I feel like it does lose steam during the second half, which is one of my biggest complaints about OPETH is like sometimes they just go too long. Like know when to cut your songs off, dudes. But the first half is just so fucking good that I can't really hold it against them.
Yeah. I'd go along with that. I mean, I really loved that. One of the things I marked it down for was because I lost kind of interest as it went on. But so this is the longest song on the album. Just a little fun fact about this one: you could have listened to the song "Necrophobic" 7 times in a row while you're listening to this. But
I love these facts, by the way.
I know what Matt would prefer.
I think my favorite part has got to be when there's like a key change or something, or maybe just a very dynamic chord change where he sings "A Trail of Sickness." It feels like the whole song lifts up there, like a trail of sickness. That part there, it's great. So great.
The riffing throughout this song is great. By the way, especially I love like he does these like riffs where it just ends on like a hanging note where it's like wow, and it just kind of goes like that. It's so cool.
Oh, and the fucking riff like before they do the first growling section.
Yeah.
That is a great riff.
So around the 4-minute mark, there's a nice slowdown. I think this is a hidden gem song. I didn't know that everyone was gonna like it as much as I did.
It's not a hidden gem song. This is
I didn't know that.
This is one of their most famous songs.
I wasn't sure if this was a famous song. I could see a couple minutes being cut, but I'm not mad that it's not.
Yeah, it definitely could have had a few minutes cut. I will not argue that.
Yeah, I think like 2 minutes probably could have been cut easily, just because there's a few times where it's just like, all right, get on with the next part. But I don't take that away from the song.
That's
it's still really good.
That's something you have to deal with if you're an OPETH fan, because it's not this song only.
You gotta wait around.
It's a lot of their songs. There's a lot of just kind of.
That's the thing. Like only this track really has that. I guess you could say issue. But like I said, it's not like a huge issue to me because obviously I put it at number fucking 2.
It's usually in the middle of the songs as well. Like they always have a really strong. They have like this like really strong finish as well.
Yeah, they have like that weird valley.
This is just like a kind of breather, maybe.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
just it's OPETH. It's what they do. You just have to deal with it.
It's Yes, man. It's all Yes's fault. All of this stuff.
No, it's nothing like Yes. Believe me.
It's all Yes's fault.
The vocal melody is very hooky as well. So I thought that's why you would like this one. Yeah, again, I put as well losing me a bit in the middle, but then the last 3 minutes are fucking killer. Like the riffing on when he comes back into the growling as well.
That final riff where they kind of just hammer it home.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a very weird time signature, but it just kind of it's good.
I love the weird. I don't know what instrument it is at the very end either as well, but I kind of like it. Just kind of like making these really long howling kind of sounds.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's the Moog.
Like I'll have to listen to it. I could, if I was listening to it right now, I could tell you what it was, but I haven't. I didn't make notes for this album, so I don't know.
I want to find this fucking Moog. But it's in there somewhere. All right. So the next song is Hours of Wealth, which kind of feels like a calm before the storm.
Yeah, this is a breather. This is
yeah. This was my number 8 on the album.
Just really?
Slow down there for me.
This is my number 7. I mean, I'm not that far off from you.
You sounded so surprised when you said 8, and then you're like, "Oh, it's 7."
I mean, but the thing is, like, I thought Isolation Years was the worst song on this.
Yeah, I quite like that one.
No, Isolation Years is pretty good. Like, there's no bad songs on this album, but I do think this is.
I said honestly, a pretty forgettable song. I do like a few bluesy kinds of sounds near the end of the track.
I quite like the solo, the bluesy kind of solo.
It's very bluesy. I'm just like, okay, this is pretty.
But again, it just the mixing on this album is great. Like you can hear everything so well, and the tone they create is good. He sings
really well, and I said it just doesn't mesh that well with this album.
So. Yeah, I can see that point. Like it's a very.
I don't know. I don't think it sticks out any more than Atonement.
I love Atonement though.
Atonement's more interesting.
Let me give you some thoughts about Atonement. Just kidding.
No, this is definitely the weakest. Well, yeah, I'd say it's the weakest song on the album.
Okay. I'll tell you about this in the next song.
Well, this is the next song, The Grand Conjuration.
Grand Conjuration. So I have this one as number 6.
Are you fucking serious?
That is a hot take.
However, I said the gap between this song and ours is huge.
Dude.
I wrote this out. I said, let's say I said Ghost was a 10, okay? And ours was about like a 1 or a 2. I would say Conjuration is like a 6 or 7. It's still up there.
Oh,
I
don't understand. This is like one of the most hyped songs on this album.
So I understand. Look, I even said I understand why it's a selection to be the track or the album's only single, because it was a single. And I get why it was. It's a good song. However, the rest of the songs are better. I like the other ones better.
Is Atonement your Flash of the Blade?
I don't think it's that much of a Flash of the Blade. Motherfucker over here said it was just
Atonement is like this album's escape.
No, it's not the escape.
It is.
Sure as hell isn't the escape.
You're not going to find many OPETH fans who are going to agree with you here. This is one of their most famous songs, if not like this is up there for them. This is not
the most famous song, obviously.
This is
probably the third or fourth, I would say, right?
This is the heaviest song on the album.
It's definitely the heaviest, but
to get a bit of my cred back, I don't want to distance myself from these comments. This is my number 2 song. So.
Right, this is a fucking awesome song. I don't even get what is happening here.
Jesus Christ! Here we go again. I have to explain myself. Just because it's 6 doesn't mean it's a bad song.
Oh shit! This is your Power Slave moment.
Yeah, this is my Power Slave moment. Yeah. It's not a bad song. It's just I happen to like the other ones more. That's all.
This is right below Ghost of Perdition for me. It's number 3.
That's why it was funny. Like during the break, I asked you, I was like, "What did you think?" Or even before, I was like, "What do you think my number 1 is?" And you said,
it was this.
Grand Conjuration.
Because this is the heaviest song on the album. I was like, oh, Corey's gonna love this.
I love it. I do love it. However, I like the other ones more.
Sure, yeah. Well, okay. I thought everyone was going to say Ghost of Perdition and Grand Conjuration is number 1 and 2. The Reverie one threw me a bit. I really liked that song, but I didn't have it as my number 1 or 2.
Yeah, I love Reveries.
But this song is fucking great, man.
This is possibly one of the heaviest songs I think I've ever heard from any band. Like it's so brutal.
It's got the fucking proggy opening as well with the kind of bit.
Yeah, it's a very unsettling kind of rhythm.
It's kind of like weird and strange. Very hooky as well, that kind of do. And I like how he sings it, but then also the riffing and all of the instruments play it as well. Very cool. And when they bring it back later on as well, there's so much going on in the first few seconds, first few minutes of this song that I'm just like trying to keep track of everything, man. There's like instruments flying in from everywhere. You got the fucking Egyptian drummer guys back.
You got the Moog coming in. What the fuck?
I like that. That fucking Egyptian drummer guy is probably like scared as hell. Like he's like, what am I doing here, man? This song is too scary for me.
Was it an actual different guy or was it just the drummer?
Nah, I think it was just.
Let's try just the drummer.
In my mind, he's just this hippie dude who's like playing along to a tournament.
Yeah.
And he gets fucking transported into this song, and he's kind of like
he's like, well, I guess I'm here. I might as well do my shit.
Yeah, he's still playing, but he's like cowering in the corner, like, oh man, what the fuck's going on? I love those kind of staccato riffs where it's just like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I actually like this song. It took me a while to get into this song because it's so brutal. Like
I like the song.
More brutal.
Actually, I think this might have been my favorite song until I started diving deep into the other tracks.
There's a bit in the middle as well, which is just heavy as fucking death. It reminded me a lot of the death metal that I've heard, where it's just extremely heavy. And I love that, that like whispering thing that's going on. Especially, it's so creepy, man. It's so fucking creepy. It's like a haunted house vibes to this song.
Yeah, it's definitely a spooky number, and it's about summoning Satan, so that's fun.
You gotta be a death metal band. You gotta mention Satan at least once.
Hey, man, if it's something about conjuring, they probably never really sing it in their tours anymore, because they probably.
Oh no, they do this one. They
probably cursed someone when they were a teenager, and they
no, this isn't Dave Mustaine.
This is not Dave Mustaine.
they're still doing it.
The Grand Conjuration.
It's funny because OPETH, even though their latest 4 albums don't have any death metal vocals, they still do a lot of their older stuff, and he has no problem doing the growls.
It's just his musical interests have changed. That's all it is. Like, and I actually don't mind that he's changed, because we always give our bands a lot of shit for doing the same things over and over again, and whereas he's just been like, look, I said everything I needed to say with the growly stuff. It'll come back though. You'll get it.
I feel like eventually he has to come back to it.
It always comes. Well, unless his vocals can't really handle it anymore. Like, look at Tom Araya. Can't fucking scream like he used to.
Well, I mean, as we've said earlier, he's a bit of a nerd, so he probably takes care of his voice a bit more than
gargles with honey and apple cider vinegar.
Not chain smoking, like the Nightwish guys.
Yeah, maybe not. He used to chain smoke. I read something where he gave up chain smoking and gave up beer and switched to red wine.
He's just a red wine guy, man. He's a mature adult now. That's what's going on. He drinks his red wine. He praises prog rock. He's just a cool dude. But yeah, this song is fucking awesome. Listen to it if you haven't.
Yeah, this is.
And then
I'm upset that you guys are upset at me.
I'm very upset at you, Corey.
I'm upset.
How dare you disappoint me?
I'm sorry.
Listen,
however,
okay, we know our first episode. We knew what to expect from you with the Power Slave
with you
saga,
which you can't expect anything.
I feel like we've all thrown out very odd opinions for certain songs, except maybe Benham. I don't know if Benham's done that yet.
I'm just I'm just a level-headed, smart dude. I get
smart dude.
But you guys still won't let me live down Escape, so
no.
I feel like I have to take Corey to a task on a few of these.
Atonement is the escape of this one.
Also, for
Well, I
no
also
reason
like
at
that
all,
sound.
I'm gonna just say for no reason, Peace Sells is a fucking great album. Anyway,
No, I feel like I was the odd man out there.
Yeah. All right. What do you mean? Okay, let's finish
What
this
do you
anyway. We got the last song, Isolation Years. Fun fact about this song: it is the shortest song on the record, but it would be the third longest song on Rain in Blood. So, there you go.
Good to know.
My notes are pretty limited for this one. It's a great outro song. I think his vocals are great. It ends the album on a sad note. There's no happy endings in fucking OPETH land.
No, definitely not.
It's basically
I said it's a decent closure to the album. Only reason I remember it is because it's a song before my playlist stops and I'm stuck with silence.
I really liked his vocal performance in this one.
It's great vocals.
Yeah.
Great vocals.
But yeah, it's a very depressing way to end the album.
Yeah, this sounds like it could have been on the Damnation album. It's pretty much exactly that style.
Yeah. I think it's like
Was Damnation before or after this one?
Before.
So do you think it was like a thing where he wanted to put it in Damnation?
No. This is actually the song that decided that this was not a concept album because it's the only one that is not related to the concept.
So what's Atonement then? It's like he went to fucking Woodstock or something, like the character.
I don't know. I didn't look at the lyrics. Jesus. How much do you expect of me?
You're an Opeth mega fan. Duh.
All I read was Isolation Years. Akerfeld wrote it and was like, I want to put this on the album, but it has nothing to do with any of the other songs. So I guess this isn't a concept album anymore. It's like, why would you throw out the entire concept?
I read something about that too.
I just don't know why he would throw out the entire concept of the whole fucking album just for one song.
That's the worst song on their album.
It's not the worst, but
I didn't put it as the worst, but it's kind of like, we always say you end on an epic. Like we said with Ghost Love Score, you're kind of done with the album after that. But for me, this one kind of worked because, again,
this definitely works more than the Nightwish album.
If you had told me that Grand Conjuration was 5 minutes longer and this was part of that song, I would have been like, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, that's it. We're finished. Fucking hell, this is a great album, man. Good choice.
It was a very good choice.
I thought you guys would really like it. Again, it was between this and Blackwater Park, and Blackwater Park is just so much more difficult to get into, even though it's a fantastic album.
Yeah, this is just a really cohesive album. Like, everything flows really well. Tells the story, except for the last song, apparently. You don't really get bored. I mean, obviously, in points of songs, I feel like a week isn't enough to appreciate everything that's going on. But I would definitely, like I said, I put Ghost Reveries on Ghost of Perdition on my playlist straight away, and I could have done it for a few more of the songs, really.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that one, Harlequin Forest and Grand Conjuration,
Forest.
like those are three of Opeth's best songs. They're fantastic songs, even if Corey doesn't agree. But
I love Bang of the Hounds. I thought that was a really good song.
Yeah.
So
Bang of the Hounds is also really good, but I don't. For me, there's a big gulf between the third and the rest of them.
I say Ghost, Harlequin, and Behn were the three top. And then
I really liked
because I really like Atonement.
I liked Beneath the Mire quite a lot.
Yeah, that one's good too. I mean, there's
was good.
there's
a lot
so
of
many
really
good songs.
fucking. There's some bangers on this album.
I mean, for the most part, we always put the shortest songs towards the end of our rankings, and even that, I was kind of like, I actually quite like some of these shorter songs. It's just you can't really compare them to these epics. That,
it is a very different and unique format for an album. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like you got 4 10-minute ones, and you got 4 not 10-minute ones, and they're pretty much like the bridge between those 10-minute ones almost. Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always surprising to me that I can like a band like this because
it is very surprising to me too.
They're so dark. Like
knowing your history, it is a shocker that you like this, man.
Corey, I'm adding some fucking death metal, some black metal to our list.
Dude, we're gonna have to start hitting some more of this shit. Like, we're gonna have to see how far we can actually take Matt.
Cannibal Corpse coming up next.
Hey,
I don't know.
Favorites.
I feel like Opeth, they have this way about them where it's like it's not totally brutal. It's like they I don't know. I don't know how to describe them.
Well,
It's almost like a rainy day almost.
You know what this makes me most interested in is like really seeing, because you both are not like super familiar with Tool. I'm very interested to see what your
I
opinions
am
on
somewhat
Tool.
familiar with Tool. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of like not
There's
Tool
no
influences, but very
growling in Tool,
similar.
though.
No,
No,
Tool-
there's no growling, but
Tool
it's
has always
like the
struck me
proggy
as
stuff. It's more the proggy stuff than
they're super proggy, but they sound so clinical. Like it sounds like I'm in a doctor's office. That's the way I always describe them.
maybe.
Well.
But the thing is, like when I heard this album, the first band I thought, there's two bands that came up to my head when I was listening to this album. It was Tool and Stone Temple Pilots. Don't ask me why.
You said Stone Temple Pilots on what, Nightwish too? Like what?
Listen,
Band is like a big influence on your.
I love SDP, and I think we should do an SDP song because I think they're close enough to metal where we can get away with it. But like, I don't see that.
You can call them groove metal.
Yeah. No, this reminded me a lot of. Don't know, Morbid Angel, obviously.
Oh, Morbid Angel, yeah.
Bathory as well, a bit at points, but like, I don't know. I've never heard anything like Opeth before.
No,
and
they're
I'm like
completely
you, man, I
unique.
can't really describe them, and it does. Yeah, sometimes I get a bit like, why are you doing this for like 3 minutes? Like I could have done without that, you know. But maybe with more listening, I would get more into it.
Or more drugs.
Yeah. More drugs.
No, so Hours of Wealth and Atonement are two songs I'm like, if you were on a little bit of influence, you'd probably really like these.
Then again, like I feel like some of this album might scare the shit out of you if you were like on certain drugs.
Yeah, you don't want to. You gotta be careful. Stuff.
You don't want to go too far. You don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole.
Anybody who's into drugs, listen to this album sober first, and then just pick the ones that you think might be good.
Yeah, the Grand Conjuration.
You might have a bad trip eventually.
Yeah. Atonement's safe. Atonement's a safe, drug-friendly song. You can enjoy yourself to that one.
Not that we're saying that you should do drugs. It's a kid's show.
Yeah,
that's true.
We've only mentioned drugs a few times, not every episode, but only most of them.
We're not obsessed with them. Calm down.
Has anyone else got anything to say about this album?
This was a fantastic album. I loved it. Thank you, Matt, for suggesting this one, because this was so. Even though it took me until yesterday to finally like differentiate the tracks, this was a great album to kind of absorb, listen to, and also for anyone who is interested, lifting wise, it was not a bad album. Not a bad album at all for your lift. So if you want to lift to
really, even with all the quiet sections,
the worst, huh?
Even with all the quiet sections,
there's a few sections that when you're like in between sets, you just need to.
You gotta
just do a little dance.
You gotta really time your workouts.
Exactly. You got your quasi Egyptian like sitar kind of sounding shit.
2 minutes and 53 seconds. Stop this exercise over the break. Stop and then come back in at 4 minutes.
Take a minute and a half rest. Then you can get back into the growling.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's time for the melee. Now, listeners, the melee is just a bit of fun, all right? Obviously, like we did with Slayer and Once, you can't compare the two bands. You can't compare these two bands.
I feel like you can compare this band more with Slayer than you could with Slayer and Once. That was Slayer and Nightwish. That was something.
But we're gonna start with Matt because we know. Matt, do you wanna tell us why you prefer Rain in Blood to this album?
Okay, guys, I don't want to go into these being like, this is my band. I'm never going to pick anyone else. Like, I listened to Slayer some more this week. I want to give them a chance, and I do I actually enjoy the album. Like, I enjoy Rain in Blood.
Good.
It's a good album.
However,
it sounded so patronizing.
Oh my god.
Nah, I'm joking.
No,
listen. Last week we even said going into it, this is not your album to get into Slayer. It was another one. We'll get to that one way down in the future because we already know you're Slayered out. But we'll get to that.
I'm not even Slayered out. Like it's fine. Like I enjoyed it.
Next week we're hitting up.
We're not doing another Slayer album.
Slayer versus Slayer.
Not for a while.
No, I mean, I love this album. Like OPETH's Ghost Reveries so much. It's a masterpiece. Like you don't hear anything else like this from any other band. It's just very unique. Not to say Slayer's not unique. But I don't know. This one just speaks to me more. So
I know what you mean. And obviously, you've got a lot more history with this album. You've been
and I feel like that's going to be the hard part with a lot of these. It's just like we all have our favorites, and we're all picking our favorites for these. Part, yeah. So I don't see any situations where anyone would change their mind about like their favorite albums. But this album might be in my top 10 metal albums of all time. It's not a perfect album. It's definitely, it has a bit of a lot of the songs go on for too long. Bang of the Hounds definitely goes on for a bit. There's some sections in the middle where I would just cut that out. Harlequin Forest definitely has some sections I would cut out, even though the first half is probably one of the best metal songs I've ever heard in my life.
I would agree. I would definitely agree that like that first part of Harlequin Forest is chef kiss. Yeah. It's so good.
So there's some weak spots. I wouldn't say this is a perfect album, but it's one of my favorite albums. So
yeah, you vote for it. That's fine. I mean,
that's a good. Venom, would you like to go next, or would you like me to?
You go next.
All right. So I do love this album. Actually, I thought it was fantastic. Listen, obviously the only two tracks I had issues with were Hours of the Wealth and Isolation Years. Had they cut that out, this would have been honestly would have been a much more difficult situation, because I think the top 6 songs are just so fucking good in this album. However, Rain and Blood has 0 tracks that I hate, and there's 8 of them. Also, that entire album is half the amount of this one.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking. So I could listen to that. I could listen to that album twice while listening to this one.
Do you prefer shorter albums?
It's not that I prefer shorter albums, but I think like if it just fits with the theme. Like I said, had they cut the 2 tracks I don't like, this would have been a really fucking good album. Maybe almost a perfect album. Because as much as you guys are giving me shit about it, The Great Conjuration's a fucking great song.
That was your number
it's
6.
My power slave. It's my power slave. I'm sorry.
It's so surprising. I thought that would be your number 1.
It's a really good song, and it honestly was like my number 2 or 3 up until I started listening to the other ones a little bit more, and like being able to differentiate tracks.
But but also I think it's worth. I think you made a good point that like me and you have only listened to this for a week. Yeah. So it takes longer than a week. It's OPETH's like a fucking fine wine.
I don't know if I would ever really like the last 2 tracks I don't like. But Hours of Wealth is fine.
No, but no OPETH fan is going to be like, you need to check out Isolation Years and Hours of Wealth. That's not what
exactly. But like when you talk to a Slayer fan, they're honestly probably never gonna shit on any song from Rain and Blood. Just like me. I'm gonna tell you, like, Pandemic, fucking amazing. It's the worst song on the album, but it's fucking really good. Yeah. It's still a great song. So that's why I have to go with Rain and Blood by Slayer.
Okay, so I get to decide.
And I knew it would come down to you. So I knew Corey was never going to change his mind.
This is the new shiny toy for Venom, and I'm really nervous right now.
Well, I still regret the shiny toy from before. Rain and Blood. I vote for Rain and Blood.
I figure.
That album is just an adrenaline shot that can't be topped.
Honestly, it's weird because like if you put Ride the Lightning against Rain and Blood, I'd go to Rain and Blood, because I feel like Ride the Lightning has at least
maybe
one track that I'm not like super thrilled about. Rain and Blood has no albums.
Guys, I don't know if I could ever get on this train with you.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's your choice. Like you don't have that preference, and that's fine
I'm not as big a Slayer fan as you, Corey.
Yeah, obviously.
I definitely wouldn't. I don't think I would put it above Ride the Lightning, but this album to me is like, I need more time with OPETH, man. I can't vote for it over Rain and Blood, which is, again, got a lot of history with me. I've listened to it for fucking years. I love it. So I think if we did this in a year's time, after a year of listening to it,
it's fair. I definitely, I know what you mean. It took me a while to get to this one.
There was just too many, at the moment, there was too many bits in some of the songs where I was like, I'm bored, like.
When a whole album is 27 minutes long, it's kind of hard to get bored.
Unless you don't care for it at all.
Unless you don't care for it at all.
Yeah, if you're Flo Jansen, but yeah, I will say, Matt, I'm glad that you picked this album, and I'm glad that I've given OPETH another shot, because they have a lot of great shit, and I can see myself getting more into them, especially if we carry on this fucking lockdown, by the way.
Definitely.
Where I could just sit and listen to music.
I mean,
more.
Even after the lockdown, we're going to keep doing this, guys. Don't worry, fans.
Sure. Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I'm just sitting in my bedroom alone, OPETH is a very welcome company.
Need a soft growl in your ears sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I love his fucking growling. His growling is next level. His clean vocals are great. His compositions are awesome. I love the unexpectedness of the album. Like, you don't know what the fuck's gonna go on.
Yeah.
But
after a few tracks, you just think, what the fuck is this track gonna come and hit me with?
There's a lot of weird shit with this album, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows now at this point I'm a thrash dude, and just Rain and Blood is just a pure thrash to its essence, man. Yeah. So good.
It's so weird because Metallica is always seen as the thrash metal band, but I think Slayer represents it so much more perfectly than
I would say in terms of pure thrash. I would say Slayer, but I think Metallica,
I don't know. I think Metallica writes better songs. I'm sorry, guys, but they're just more interesting.
Listen, I'm more of a Metallica fan than a Slayer fan, but I can separate.
I think when it was like Venom said that he would have a hard time saying Ride the Lightning is worse than Rain and Blood, but I would imagine he would say that Rain and Blood belongs in the same category as
definitely
Ride the Lightning.
I mean, I think Peace Sells is better than Rain and Blood.
No. Really? You do?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's surprising. So wait. Oh, I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm excited for later episodes when we cover some better Megadeth albums.
If there is such a thing.
There is such a thing. Shut the fuck up.
We're getting into old dramas here throughout this whole episode. Well, that's fine. It's
good to see some cracks between you two, because I feel like you're like a wall I have to overcome with any album I pick.
I voted Dream Theater, Matt. I voted for Dream
I voted against it.
To go with Ride the Lightning. You did.
Yeah, never forget that. Never forget it.
That could have been the end of Ride the Lightning right there.
Yeah, but it's not. And Slayer is now on a 2-game winning streak. And the next album, I think, is going to give it a bit more of a run for its money, because...
So, the next album is... I'm not even sure whose pick it was, whether it was yours or mine, because I feel like we're both equally kind of...
I love this fucking band, man. And you introduced me to them as well, so... Yeah, it's Camelot. The band is Camelot, and the album is The Black Halo. So again, you guys listen to it as well throughout the week, and we'll review it next week.
This is one of the few albums I'd say it's a perfect album. But we'll see how I think after another week of listening to it.
Yeah. I'm excited because I've only heard a few songs from Camelot. I've always enjoyed them, but this will be my first time.
You'll enjoy this, trust me.
Yeah, this is a fucking great album.
I figure I'll probably fucking love this album.
It's
honestly, I've been the only one that hasn't hated an album.
What have I hated? I didn't hate any of them.
Shut the fuck up. You hate Ride the Lightning. You voted against Ride the Lightning twice. Remember that, Venom.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm the biggest Metallica fanboy in the world.
Dream Theater, who you were just introduced a week before.
I got seduced.
You've said Metallica's your favorite band like a few times, and then you're you voted against them a few times.
Voted for them 50% of the time.
Yeah,
weird.
You got to be harder on the ones you love, That's my approach anyway. But fucking Camelot, we'll talk about them next week. Great band. this is their best album, I think.
Oh, for sure. That's why we picked it.
We'll talk about that next week.
We'll talk about them next week. And if you want to give us some comments or anything like that, give us a little tweet
tell
on
us
Twitter
why.
at heavymetalmelee. And if you want to give us an email, it's at heavymetalmelee@gmail.com. Hit that like button, push that subscribe button, and jingle that little notification bell so that way you know when our next video is up, or even one of Matt's new videos.
Yeah, since it's all under the same umbrella.
Traveling the world after all.
I am in my head.
Shit. Just I want to see the inbox flooded with comments about the Grand Conjuration.
How shit we are? Or wait, no,
the Grand Conjuration.
The Grand Conjuration and how Corey is so fucking stupid for making it his 6th favorite song.
It is so far down. I can't even believe that.
All right, let's get out of here, guys.
All right, everyone, have a good night.
All right, see you guys.
See you next week. Bye.
Peace.